everyone, it's Naza from CSA Kids, and I'm here to tell you the Easter story. Are you guys excited? Happy Easter. So the Easter story is actually a really amazing one. But before we get to it, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Are you ready? What is your favorite weather? Today I went on a walk. It was so sunny and warm, and that is my favorite weather. But what is yours? Do you prefer when it's raining, when it's windy, when it's sunny like me? Do you like snow? What's your favorite weather? That's a pretty good answer. Irregardless of whatever you said, it's beautiful because God made all the weather. So all of it is beautiful. So now that we've answered that, I'm going to ask you guys to click on your listening ears and pay attention because I'm about to tell you guys an amazing story. So do you guys know the Easter story? Well, I'm about to tell you. So a long time ago, when Jesus was physically here on earth, he went into a town riding on a donkey. And the people in the town were so excited, and they went out with palm branches to go welcome him. And they were welcoming the king into the town. Can we pretend to wave our palm branches as we welcome Jesus? Woo! Welcome Jesus! Later on, he had dinner with his friends. And he told them that every time they have a dinner just like this one, that they are remembering him until he comes. So can we pretend to eat just like his friends? Delicious. But the story kind of gets a little bit sad before we get happy again, because there were some leaders who didn't like Jesus, and so they arrested him and they decided that they wanted to kill him. They put him on a cross and they nailed him, and Jesus died. But what is so amazing about Jesus dying is that he died for us. You see, every single thing that we do deserves punishment. And do you know what Jesus did by dying for us? He took that punishment on himself. Isn't that just so amazing how much he loves us? He did that for us even when we don't deserve it. So let's say thank you, Jesus, for dying for me. Thank you, Jesus, for dying for me. But the story doesn't end there, because they buried him. And 3 days later, his friends went to the place where they buried him, and the stone was moved away and Jesus was gone. What do you think happened? Did someone take him away? No, because the angels were there. And do you know what they told his friends? They told him, he is risen, just like he said he would. Because before Jesus died, he said it a lot of times, that he was going to raise up from the dead. He was going to defeat sin. He was going to defeat death. And he was going to come back alive. And Jesus actually appeared to his friends and showed them his scars so that we know for sure that it was actually Jesus. Isn't that amazing what God can do? Jesus rose from the dead. Can we say Jesus is the best? Jesus is the best. So every time we tell this story to our friends and our family members and everyone around us, we are remembering what Jesus did for us, and we're saying Jesus is the best. So I'm going to ask you some questions to make sure you're listening. Okay, it's just 2 questions. So number 1, what did the people of the town bring out to celebrate King Jesus? That's right, palm branches. Okay, and the second question is, what did Jesus say at the dinner with his friends? Something about remembering, celebrating. Yes, he said that every time they have a dinner just like this, they are remembering him and celebrating him till he comes. Isn't that amazing? They're remembering what Jesus did, and they're telling God thank you every single time they have a dinner just like that. So now our memory verse is from Matthew 28 verse 6, and it's what the angels told them when they came to see Jesus's empty tomb. He is not here. He is risen, just as he said. I love that last line, just as he said, because it reminds us that Jesus said it, and we can trust that everything Jesus said is true, because he said that he was going to rise up from the dead, and he did. Now that you guys have heard the amazing story of Easter, we have a special Easter message. We love you guys.
So let me share this testimony. It started years ago. So I am the last of 3 children, and my both siblings, they were always very smart in school. They were very, active. I was also very active in sports and all that, but I was not like striving to be very studious in school. My thing was me playing, running, participating in sports and all that from a very young age. So I was not the student or the child in our family known as the smart one. Nobody told me that, but that was my role, which was quite fine. I was the one who used to give teachers charts and all that. So when I was in high school, my home teacher, which I remember up to this very day, Mrs. Dina, when I was in Form 1, I had a parent-teachers meeting, and my mother came in, and she told my mother to take me out of school and take me to let me join a vocational school, such as learning some type of trade. When my mother came back and told me that, it kind of broke her heart, because she was a single mother at that time, and she was doing her utmost best to get the best for us. And hearing that, I was not really applying myself, and the teacher think that I should go to vocational school, I really saw that kind of bothered her. So only when I attended the high school, I started to apply myself, because I knew then it meant something. It meant that me getting a good job and helping my mother and taking my mother out of poverty, because we at that time were in poverty. So my parents got separated when I was at a very young age, and we went from having everything financially to going into poverty. So it was very hard for us. So then I started to apply myself, and I still have that to the back of my head, that I am not, that I could have been a statistic. That people wrote me off, that I came from a broken home, in poverty, all that, but God. So eventually, most of you all know that I did end up in medical school, but that didn't happen just so. It was literally the hands of God that opened doors for myself and a number of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago to have free tertiary level education that afforded me the ability to go to medical school and finish medical school. I know that my heart desire is to do more, is to make and to have long-lasting impact on those that are around me, both spiritually and socio-economically, right? To really make lasting effect on my community for persons who could have ended up a statistic like myself, who was written off by teachers and stuff like that. So I did my master's in public health, and guess what, guys? I started in 2019, and through the grace of God and where I work, I got a scholarship, thank you Jesus, and I finished in 2021. I said all that to say this: don't look at your circumstances, don't look at your situation, trust God, because He is able to do the impossible, or He will make the impossible possible. So what is impossible for man is possible for God. So trust in Him. I hope my testimony bless you. I hope you are encouraged, and keep your eye on the Father.
Arlene, Goodrich, Dudley, Master of Public Health, Trinidad and Tobago.
Woohoo!
knocked down, even when we hit the ground, even when we look around and we're afraid. You will always pick us up, you will always rescue us, you were always there to trust, you never fail. And everybody everywhere, they need to know. Ready, set, go! We're gonna tell the world that you're alive. We're gonna shout the name that brings us back to life. Ready, set, go! We're gonna tell the world, in the darkness we will shine. We're gonna shout the name that brings us back to life. Ready, set, go! 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 Ready, set, go! 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 Even when we get knocked down, even when we hit the ground, even when we look around and we're afraid, you will always pick us up, you will always rescue us, you were always there to trust, you never fail. Ready, set, go! We're gonna tell the world that you're alive. We're gonna shout the name that brings us back to life. Ready, set, go! We're gonna tell the world, in the darkness we will shine. We're gonna shout the name that brings us back to life. Ready, set, go! 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 Ready, set, go! 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 You will never leave us, you are always with us every day and every hour. We won't be afraid. You will never leave us, you are always with us every day and every hour. We won't be afraid. Ready, set, go! We're gonna tell the world that you're alive. We're gonna shout the name that brings us back to life.